Hello, 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 everyone. Happy Tuesday. Back to normal markets. I guess if you call these markets normal. How is everyone doing today? Waka waka, welcome back. Hey ho. Now we'll probably rally. Did you notice Waka has been missing for a couple weeks and we've had a decent sell off finally? Waka's back? I don't know. Are we going to rally? Let's just see. George, the death throes of markets launches last green candles. Maybe last green candles because Waka's back. We shall see. So far, pretty weak bounce. Let's see if we can get anything going on today before the next major rollover move. Patrick, good morning. Good morning, Davey. Hey, 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 Chris Plummer. Hey. Seesaw Tuesday. So no turnaround Tuesday. It's Seesaw Tuesday for options 22. William S. More downside. Just remember, not much going on this morning in terms of earnings or anything else, but we have to pay attention to S&P Global Composite PMI final. Let's see. Forecast still in contraction. Let's see how deep that stays in contraction. And services PMI forecast pretty deep in contraction. 45. Yeah, although 50 is the key reading, anything below 45 is very, very recessionary. So let's see how that comes in terms. That's 8:45 and 9 o'clock. Sorry, I was still on the services PMI. For ISM manufacturing PMI, forecast at 55.1. I'm going to see if that drops closer to 50. If it does, that is pretty bearish. But does bearish mean, okay, they're not going to do the 75 rate hike? I don't know anymore. I can only trade price action. I do have active shorts before going on holiday, so you got to take advantage of it at least. Super duper frustrating when you play options. Can't hold overnight. Well, it depends on what time frame you have and your theta and what your position is. I mean, there's a lot that goes into that statement. There's certain option positions that it's very beneficial to hold overnight. Let's see, pretty mixed green. Remember, yesterday markets were on holiday. Today, so far, slightly green, up just a bit, coming out of very oversold conditions. 70% favoring that 75 basis points. Let's see how that fares after the next 45 minutes to see if it starts dropping, if the numbers come out very weak, and we're still in negative gamma territory, so you can get amplified moves to the upside and to the downside. So if it can actually get a rally on, we could see some amplified moves. But 41.23 is gamma flip level. In terms of earnings, nothing this morning. After Coupa and GitLab is really, that's about it we're paying attention to. So we'll peek in that after the close today. So far, that's the weekly chart of the S&P. By the way, I did do the sector update, and all the major financial indices are tipped back in the long-term sell. We're still watching that key 62.5. Would not be surprised with daily cycles at the bottom, trying to get out of oversold condition to see some slight bounce, and that would just be to the daily rotation zone. Put up these levels yesterday above this 93.41, 93.61 where it stalled out above there. Then I'm going to 39.84, then possibly 4,007 with the declining 50. Would be surprised if this does trigger, but we do have a potential double bottom. Now, if we rotate down again, with this amount of time, it's going to turn into triple bottom territory, so that would be off the table. But 40, 19, 25 on a 4-hour closing basis. If you want to be a little more aggressive, it would be a 1 hour. Yes, we will get to crude. That double was triggered in the lower liquidity markets and stopped, but that just shows the weakness in crude. So crude, yeah, very, very weak. So those are the levels I'm watching. If we do rotate back down this morning, I'm going to be keying off the VIX. I'll give you my VIX levels. But 39.24, if we break below 39.24, watching the lows from September 1st for a retest. And 38.99 is key. Below 38.99, if this would work, you can always, come on, you can always put your reverse harmonics on for the minor levels like this. So reverse harmonics 38.89, 38.74, and those would be the minor breakdown levels. The next major level is 38.850. Remember, 38.99 on a closing basis is very, very key. Not only is that the close, it's relevant from an Elliott wave standpoint. It's relevant from just a pure support resistance standpoint, and it's relevant from the GAN or the harmonic levels. 38.99. So pay attention. NASDAQ. Also little micro mini double. If we break below this 12,148, 12,070, 12,017, minor harmonics, 12,962, and then we have a harmonic cluster with the final target for the head and shoulders at 11, what is that? 11,906. To the upside, if this support holds at 12,148, my target is 12,259 and then about 12,364. The key level on the closing basis is 12,070 for the daily close. Let's see, Waka Waka, recession 100% here in UK and EU. Energy costs, yeah, we're going to see. The EU is going to get absolutely destroyed. Even if they do energy bailouts, this winter's going to be brutal, even if they're on limp through mode. And lots of businesses, even with bailouts, are going to suffer. It's going to be interesting. Remember, rate hike on Thursday. So 2 days favoring that 75 basis point rate hike on the ECB. So do keep that in mind. U.S. is going to hit a recession anyways. We've already talked about that. That's just going to amplify things worldwide. Hello, Eric. Completely agree. So 12,461.50 is your key closing level to the upside. If we did close above there, we have probability-wise a little more upside in store. Dow, 31,583. Resistance above there, 31,782, 31,963 to the downside, 31,367 is key support. If we get below that, watching for the lows on September 2nd, 31,182, and then the major levels, 30,889. On a closing basis, it's 31,367. That's the level to pay attention to. Yes, potential 4-hour double bottom. You need to trade above 32,029. Russell, also double bottom, sitting there against key resistance, 1825.70. We make a run against there. Minor would be 1836, then 1849. A close above 1849 triggers the double bottom. Key support, just trying to get through these quickly. We got people trading all different things. 1803, below 1803, 1787. That is your key closing level. The DAX, still trying to put in this double bottom pattern. Key closing level, 13,055. Intraday resistance, 12,938. Same level as I'm talking about yesterday. It can actually be bumped up just a hair, about 12,945. So a break above that, I would just be targeting the 50, about 13,022. Key support, first level, 12,835. Then 12,773. 12,773, we start getting below that. It'll probably turn that into a triple bottom. Notes, slamming the rotation zone, rotating back down. I'm still focused on 115.07. I'm not doing anything to the bullish side unless it gets a key close above 116.28. Dollar index pushing up higher. The yen really weakening today. We'll take a look at that in a second. Watching for this to tag 110.30, and then next major level is it's the harmonic is 111.10. I'm going to 111. That's where we sit. So far, this correction was pretty much a sideways correction. Getting to cycle top and overbought, so we'll be trailing it for any dollar positions, it's time to more aggressively trail a stop. Talked about crude, triggered a little lower probability because of the lower liquidity, and that was tested out when you have things trigger on, especially U.S. holidays, lower probabilities, and that just reversed. So you see selling pressure pretty big around $90. So we really need to get some momentum above $90 before there'd be any short-term upside trade. If we break down, there's a lot of support around this 85.50 to about 86 level. But if that 85.50 is broken, we'll watch for acceleration at downside to about 83.70. Let's just get through a couple other things. VIX, what I'm keying off of this morning, if we start rallying, we'll go to choppy bearish unless we start getting above about 26.31, which is Friday's highs. If we start breaking down below 25.30, we'll start going to choppy bullish and targeting roughly about 24.35. As I mentioned, the yen plowing up. Next, harmonics. I have updated the harmonics, and by the way, this double is off the top. I already updated the harmonics if you're wondering why they ever changed. 142.65, and then we keep plowing through this 143.99, so 144 are the next levels on a pullback. Again, this is cycles at the top, very overbought, but the key pullback level is about 141. Euro, trying to hold in there, but now looks like it's reversing. I'm targeting 98.50 going into Thursday for the rate hike. Bitcoin, this is going to just trade pretty much from my perspective, either like the NASDAQ. So if we start to get the choppy bullish trade, we'll watch. But any rally in this is for another sell signal from our analysis. So 20,435 first level, and then about 20,750. Let's peek in at Tesla. Tesla, we've still triggered double top. Pretty flat on the open. Any rallies, even up to 283 to 287, is just watching for short-term sells. The targets still are in place: 260, 80, 80 something, 253, 66, 245, 10. Remember, there is still a gap down here from the end of July, the 20th of July. Spiders. Spiders. Again, slight pre-market gap up because the futures are up. Yes, you still have the double. You need at least a 4-hour close above 401.55. 1 hour would be aggressive. To here, your major resistance, we're trading pre-394.25. 396.91 would be my first intraday target. Then 399, 398.92. My key support coming in about 392.80, and then it would be a retest of the lows from September. The key closing level on the daily is 388.21. Qs, also potential double bottom, but you need that 401-hour close above 303.75. Before that, slight gap up, 396.54 targeting. Besides that little gap fill on any weakness on both the spiders and the Qs, if we get in that choppy bullish mode, 299.34 is a major resistance. Key support is about 295.40 to 50, and then we break below that. 293.71 to the lows on the first would be my next target, 292.95. We break below that, 291.47. Thought about moving to Europe a few years ago. So glad I didn't. Where do you live now, George? Remind me, please. I want to move to Australia. Australia is a penal. I think I was going to say a penal colony again. Their lockdowns were brutal. So that's where we sit. Don't know what else we could talk about. I'm really going to be watching the VIX going into the open and between that 8:45 and 9. Other than that, Kentucky, that's a very nice state. Very nice state. Bourbon County, love those bourbon tours. Other than that, love to hear where people are from. You Nat Gas. Ted wants Natty Gas. Natty Gas. I talked about Natty Gas on the futures edge. Look at this. I talked about this sloppy topping pattern. First target hit. 835. Still watching for continued pullback. 808 and 777. And this would be for the pullback trade. The only thing that gets me more bearish is if we get a daily close below 755. Other than that, this is a pullback trade, then watching for a resumptive trend back up. Completely agree with that statement about the lockdowns. So, that's everything I'm watching. Even on a rally, if you're watching for Natty Gas, your key resistance now sitting at 866. So that would just be a short-term bounce play, not doing anything to the upside until we get a stronger bottoming pattern. Since the notes are in what appears to be a bear market from percent down from the highs, do they trade like stocks do, i.e. rip your face off rallies? If you would get probably a rip your face off rally only in the notes or bonds if we went into full-blown crash mode. That's the only thing I'm expecting at that point. If we not expecting crash mode, if we did go into crash mode, we would get a ton of money flowing into the treasury instruments, especially on the longer end of the curve. Other than that, I mean, you can get some pretty decent moves like we did back at the beginning of July. Am I expecting anything to be launching like that right now? No. If we start getting a pretty aggressive sell mode / we need a very aggressive sell mode, then I'll start watching for some upside momentum. Until there, it's just orderly trading. Well, again, we don't have a strong bottoming pattern on a shorter term yet. This can probably be traded as, I'll have to look at it a little more closely, as a potential little 4-hour double. But we're quite a ways off from triggering that. So nothing to do today from the long side from my perspective. And nothing really to do unless we triggered a shorter term bottoming pattern until we get down to this 115.07 at least. Waco would love to live in. Well, I can't. I used to live in California. I lived in California for years. Can't go back there though, based off of the not the climate, meaning the temperature wise, but the climate based off of the way it's gone completely insane. Nevada lived in Las Vegas. Las Vegas, very fun place to visit. Horrible place to live. I've lived in Florida too. Can't go back to Florida. We looked in Florida. It's just too humid for me. I'm going back to Arizona. Slightly to the north in Arizona, so I get some more seasonality. The political stuff, it's nuts there. I used to live on 82 acres on the Central Coast in California. Very beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. But no more California until it gets its head screwed on right. North Carolina, yeah, Sterling lives in North Carolina. Very nice in North Carolina. Never lived in North Carolina, but I've visited a lot. So, I love the heat too. I'm actually looking to get just north of the valley though, so it's a little more temperate and you get a little more of the seasonality. Better go near a good water source. I'm going to get some property with and drill a well. So it's got to have water access and everything. California, the land had a well on it too. That was really nice. Completely off the grid. Semis, California. You want the semis? You want, I guess you want the semiconductors again. I'm in long-term bearish mode still again with this. Nothing's changing. Even on a rally would be to sell rallies. I've been off the grid before. I'm going off the grid again at some point. Being off the grid with solar and with your own well, fantastic. Solar own well, had propane tanks, so that was the only thing that needed to be fed, but most of the time cooked outside in Cali, barbecued or grilled pretty much every night over a wood fire on a wood fire pit. Very nice. So, but that's for another day. With that, we're going into the open. Let me just peek at the numbers. Let me just peek at the shorter term stuff. Really not much. King and it's dead going to the opens. I'm not going to get faked out by any opening moves either. We'll be really keying off that 8:45 and 9 a.m. Try Minnesota. Great summers. I can't stand. Yes, Minnesota has great summers, but winters. I hate cold. I hate cold. I hate long winters. That's why I struggle in Chicago horribly. You could see me in Amish gear. Oh, brother. All right, with that, I'm wrapping it up. I will be back after the close. Everyone have a great, fantastic trading day, and thank you for being here. Did I have internet? Yeah. I had a couple different things. There were microwave towers up, so we had on a big high pole. There was direct access with microwave towers. It was about 25 minutes in the town, but there were microwave towers you could do. And then I had a satellite connection, which was laggy, but you couldn't like trade a 5-minute chart as well, but you could easily trade 1 hour, 4 hour daily charts, which is what I prefer anyways. With that, I will talk to everyone later. Bye for now.